The San Jose Project was conducted by the U.S. military and involved the testing of various chemical and biological agents on human beings. The project was rooted in the Cold War context, where the U.S. was focused on developing and evaluating chemical and biological weapons.
I know that one! It's not San Jose Project, it's Ultra something. I watched podcast about this shit. Thank you, Mudilas. I watched podcast about this shit. They use chemicals to try to control minds. Yeah.
San Jose Island was selected as a remote site for these experiments to keep them away from public scrutiny. The chemical agents tested included nerve agents like VX and sarin, blister agents such as mustard gas and lewisite, and certain biological agents. Military personnel and, in some cases, local civilians participated in the tests, often without being aware of their involvement. Many soldiers were led to believe the experiments were part of training or safety procedures, and some felt forced to participate. Participants
What kind of costumes?
on their race, since the military thought that people with darker skin might be more protected from the harmful effects of the chemical.
What? The more your skin is darker, the more you are protected from chemicals? That's insane.
Agents. Participants in the San Jose Project were exposed to chemical agents in many different ways. They breathed in the gases, had them touch their skin, and in some cases, even swallowed them. When these agents touched the skin, they could cause blisters right away. For those who inhaled the gases, serious breathing problems developed, like coughing, wheezing, and long-term damage to their lungs. Many people also suffered from painful skin injuries, such as burns and rashes.
But this shit happened like in the Cold War. So after the World War II, there was like human right protocol or some shit like that, Geneva Convention that protects human rights. After World War II or from after the first one, I don't remember actually, but there was a thing like that. But so how that kind of experiments could happen in the past, huh? What the fuck?
There were also mental effects, with some individuals experiencing memory loss, trouble focusing, and increased anxiety. One of the biggest problems with the San Jose Project was that the participants didn't give informed consent. Many of them didn't understand the risks of being part of the experiments. After the tests, the U.S. government often tried to hide the results and the health issues that the participants had. Those who got sick from the experiments didn't initially get any help or money for their health problems because the project was kept secret. The Tuskegee Project. Commonly known as the Tuskegee study of untreated syphilis, this study aimed to see how untreated syphilis affected African American men, since the researchers thought black men were less likely to seek treatment or understand the dangers of syphilis. About 600 men were involved.
Whoa. Why everything like is around African American men? They're immune to certain pathogens, and another one, they seek less help and not understand syphilis. Not understand syphilis. Okay, never mind.
Dangers of syphilis. About 600 men were involved, with around 399 having syphilis and 201 not, and they were told they were being treated for bad blood, which was a term for various illnesses, believing they were receiving free health.
There is an evil-ass experiment.
Researchers did not provide proper treatment for syphilis because they wanted to observe how the disease progressed without intervention. The study caused severe health issues for many participants, including complications from untreated syphilis, such as heart problems, brain damage, and other serious illnesses. Some men suffered for years before they passed away from these complications, and many families were affected by the long-term consequences. Even after penicillin became available in the 1940s as an effective treatment for syphilis, the researchers withheld it from the men in order to keep their research going. The death toll from the study was significant, with 100 participants dying from syphilis or its complications by the time the study ended in 1972. Additionally, 40 spouses of the infected men contracted syphilis, and 19 children were born with congenital syphilis as a direct result of the study's unethical practices. The unethical practices of the study only came to light in 1972, when a whistleblower exposed it to the public, causing national outrage and the immediate termination of the study. United Kingdom's Death Island Experiment.
Death Island Experiment,
British biological warfare tests. Its goal was to explore how germs could be used in warfare and British special military operations. The British government conducted these experiments on remote islands.
Even Britons did that. Holy shit! I thought that only Americans are crazy, but and Britons did that shit also.
Particularly Gruinard Island and St. Kilda, and one of the most significant tests involved anthrax, an extremely deadly bacterium. This series of tests was conducted as part of Operation Vegetarian, an ultimately unused plan that called for the dispersal of linseed cakes spiked with anthrax across the German countryside, aiming to infect German livestock and thereby cripple food
Oh,
supplies.
that's why.
1942,
Okay.
The government began by releasing doses of anthrax spores on Grunard Island to see how they spread and affected living beings. This release caused severe contamination, making the island uninhabitable for both people and animals for many years. Military personnel were manipulated into participating in these tests, believing they were part of regular training exercises. After being experimented on, most soldiers later reported serious health issues, including breathing problems and serious skin infections. The British government also tested other germs like brucellosis and tularemia to examine how they affected animals and humans. Nazi twin experiments.
What the
During
fuck?
World War II, the Nazis conducted experiments on twins in concentration camps, especially at Auschwitz. Dr. Josef Mengele, a German doctor known as the Angel of Death, led these experiments. He was fascinated by twins and believed studying them could reveal important information about heredity and genetics. Mengele's experiments were often brutal and deadly. He performed
I don't relate with him, but like I understand what he's thinking about the twins because twins thing is pretty interesting, and how they are born are interesting, and how they like grow in the womb. That's pretty interesting. If you will like learn it about it in school, that shit is pretty interesting.
surgeries without anesthesia, amputating limbs and removing organs. For example, he injected one twin with a disease while keeping the other twin healthy to compare their reactions. Some twins had their limbs broken to see how their bodies healed. Mengele also tested how much pain a person could endure and tried to make artificial Siamese twins by sewing them together without anesthesia.
What?
In addition to surgeries, Mengele conducted painful experiments on the eyes of twins. He injected dye into their eyes to try to change their color, which often led to permanent damage or blindness.
Oh yeah, but what kind of dyes he used? The only thing I know that people do to change their eye color is to like they use lemon juice and they put it on their eyes to change their color from blue to green, some shit like that.
Mengele also measured and photographed the twins to study their physical features, as he was interested in ideas of racial purity. Approximately 1,500 sets of twins were involved in Mengele's experiments at Auschwitz. Of those, only about 200 survived the war. Many twins were separated from their parents when they arrived at the camp, and families were often torn apart. After the war, many survivors dealt with long-lasting psychological and physical health problems
No
due to the
shit.
trauma they experienced. Unit 731. During World War II,
What?
Japan conducted human experiments through a secret
Japan
unit
also!
known as Unit 731. This unit operated from 1937 to 1945 in occupied China and was led by General Shiro Ishii,
Shiro
focusing on
Ishii!
biological and chemical
W
warfare
Japan.
research, and carried out experiments on thousands of people, including Chinese civilians, prisoners of war, and children, infecting them with diseases like anthrax, plague, and cholera to study their effects on the human body. For instance, researchers infected individuals with plague bacteria to observe how the disease progressed and to document its symptoms, performing vivisections on live subjects without anesthesia.
But hear me out. Hear me out a little bit. Because of those cruel and horrible experiments, we have data now. We have data now. How people react to certain diseases. I'm not saying that you need to do that on people nowadays. We have rats and and we don't need to kill animals. Also, laboratory rats are taken care of. It's like in the laboratory rats, if you do something to the rat, like inject it with disease or another thing, you need to somehow compensate it. Maybe give it a treat or maybe some kind of medicine for that disease. So you need to somehow treat her, right?
To examine their organs, blood, and bodily functions in real time. Victims were also subjected to extreme temperatures, with some frozen, to assess the effects of cold exposure and others exposed to high temperatures to observe heat-related illnesses. Experiments were conducted using various weapons, where subjects were shot or subjected to explosives.
Shot and exploded, what?
Some subjects even underwent starvation and dehydration to examine the effects of these conditions on health. Moreover, some people were deliberately infected with diseases like syphilis and gonorrhea to
Nice.
study the effects and progression of these infections without treatment. In one particularly brutal set of experiments, subjects had their organs removed and were then kept alive to observe.
What will happen if we will put explosives in someone's ass and push the button? It will explode. Maybe the body can withstand this kind of power. We will know in the next episode of horrific scientific experiments in 1940s. Nice.
I believe that those scientists were like little kids. Like,
What will happen if we put very long stick up his eye? We will reach the brain or not? That's the good hypothesis. Let's test that out. Can you bring me the wealthiest person in our country that makes our country better and raises our economy? Can you invite him for a conversation a little bit? And in the conversation room we will have 3 guards fully loaded with AK-47s. Yeah, so he will feel protected, not intimidated, and we will talk about the experiment. And if he says no, we will give him, let's say, a little surprise. Maybe we will take his children and put it in the cage with sharks around them. What do you think, guys? It's a good idea or not?
Such surgeries. Additionally, many were subjected to exposure to extreme pressure, simulating conditions found at high altitudes, which caused their bodies to suffer severe physical trauma. The number of deaths resulting from these experiments is believed to be in the tens of thousands, as many victims were killed after the experiments to eliminate any witnesses. Approximately 3,000 people were directly involved in the experiments, but the total number of victims may have been much higher. After the war, some members of Unit 731 received immunity from prosecution in exchange for providing their research data to the Allied powers. Human vivisections in ancient Greece.
Oh, ancient Greece
saw
that's
the
okay.
practice of human vivisection, which involved performing surgeries and dissections on live subjects, primarily for medical research and education.
Oh yeah, they did that shit. I watched one movie when one guy tried to be like a neurosurgeon or just a surgeon, and he like did live surgery in front of thousands of people, and that person died, of course, from infection or during the surgery. I don't remember, and he was put it into jail. It was some kind of inventor, I think. He tried to use his invented chainsaw for humans, something like that. Socrates' country.
This practice was notably advanced by figures like Herophilus of
Okay,
Chalcedon.
we know
Often
that thing.
resulted in gruesome scenes of suffering.
Yeah,
as
no
the subjects writhed in pain during these invasive Soviet Union during the 1920s, whose main goal was to develop secret lab in pain during these invasive
What?
procedures. The camera.
The camera. Who calls their experiment the camera? What?
Let's take 3 Sony cameras and 1 Canon, and with flashes on them, and just we don't stop until the person is blind. Okay, we will take as much photos as we want.
Camera was a secret laboratory established by the Soviet Union during the 1920s, whose main goal was to develop an untraceable poison that could kill enemies without...
And that's how Novichok was born. I don't know about Novichok because it's traceable that it is a Novichok, but I don't know about other drugs.
being detected in autopsies. To achieve said goal, researchers at Camera focused on various types of poisons, including ricin, strychnine, and botulinum toxin.
Ricin,
Many
of
of the
course.
victims were political prisoners, dissidents, or other people who were seen as threats to the regime. Researchers would begin by injecting victims with ricin, which would cause severe
Russia be like, you have your own opinion? Take that guy.
stomach pain, vomiting, and very often the death of the victim. In addition to injections, the researchers also tested poisons mixed with food or drink, which allowed them to figure out if they could kill without raising suspicion. In one specific case, a person was infected with botulinum toxin, which caused paralysis and made it impossible to breathe. As the victim was struggling and fighting for their life,
I like those symptoms because when you play Schedule 1, these types of symptoms you get if you smoke one of the, things I give you in Schedule 1.
Researchers simply observed closely, taking notes of their findings with no intent of helping the victim. Camera scientists also tested combinations of different poisons.
Oh my god, I got this joint. It causes diarrhea, brain fog, paralysis. Your body will explode, and it's super addictive. For only $2.99, guys. For only $2.99. Deal of your life.
Such as strychnine and morphine, leading to convulsions and agonizing muscle spasms. Victims could experience violent reactions, with seizures lasting up to 15 minutes before succumbing to a fatal.
I have my own conspiracy theory. What if Schedule 1 is a government game created by government and they know the effects of individual products, like battery will shock you if you, in-game smoke crack with battery in-game, you will get shocked, What if the Schedule 1 is government game created by government and they let us mix those batteries, donuts to understand how each product will affect human being. And they will create a very powerful biological weapon.
What about this conspiracy theory? I think it's believable.
Moreover, some subjects were placed in complete isolation, enduring extreme conditions in order to determine how fear and stress would boost the effectiveness of poisons. The laboratory kept detailed records of the experiments, noting that over 90% of the subjects did not survive
Oh
the
my
tests.
fucking god.
The Aversion Project. The Aversion Project was a secret program that aimed to convert homosexual individuals to heterosexuality.
Ball right, okay.
I know one guy in America that said that frogs can turn you into homosexual. If you kiss Alex Jones, his name. So he told that if you kiss a certain type of frog, and government do that, like it's a conspiracy theory, said that government give people certain types of frogs, and those frogs touch humans, and those humans become homosexual. That's crazy, bro.
The South African government believed homosexuality was a mental illness, leading
Be aware, guys, there's homosexual frogs in the wild.
them to implement extreme measures to change the victim's sexuality.
South Africa government believe that homosexuality is a mental... Oh, okay.
I can understand because it's an undeveloped country.
One of the most disturbing methods was electric shock therapy. In this procedure, victims were shown images of men while being...
What the fuck? If you're a man, how electric shock therapy works is just they show you an image, and when the bad image comes up, they shock you with electricity. So that guy will be afraid of men. Just that his body will learn that if he detects some kind of male around him, he will be afraid. And different people react to fear in different types. So he may fight them or he may run from them.
Administered painful electric shocks. Some reports indicate that victims experienced over 150 shocks during a single session, leading to severe burns on their skin. Another horrific method was chemical aversion therapy, which used the drug apomorphine. This drug caused severe nausea and forced vomiting, while participants were shown graphic images of homosexual acts. In some cases, victims would vomit uncontrollably, sometimes even choking on their own vomit. This was designed to link feelings of nausea with same-sex attraction. Survivors of the Aversion Project reported enduring a range of psychological effects. Some victims experienced flashbacks, extreme anxiety, and depression. Reports suggest that a significant number of survivors suffered from post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD.
No shit, you have PTSD from that experiment, because there's, I don't know how many males in the world, but you encounter like hundreds of males in your surroundings when you go to the job or something like that. And every time you see a male, you remember the electric shocks or chemical therapy that you wanted to vomit.
This experiment is like how people treat dogs. If they do bad thing, they get punishment. So
if if they show you a picture of male, then you get shocked with electricity, or you get injected hormones that make you want to vomit or have diarrhea, some shit like that. Oh my fucking god, some of those experiments, of course, all of them are horrible, but some of those are so goofy. What the fuck? What is Dexter Morgan ass experiment? Literally, what?